Hey, good morning, everybody. How's it going today? So, just about 9 o'clock now, and there really isn't a heck of a lot going on in the pre-market that I see that is a juicy trade here. Let's look at this one real quick. Well, so I should say for momentum. Um, got a few names here for momentum. They have a pretty high float on the scanner, and a bunch of them don't have any float at all. Like there's no information on the float. And I just got in the office about 20 minutes ago. It was another long night with a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. The 3-year-old didn't want to go to sleep. Yeah, so I'm running on a little bit of. I usually don't like to trade on low sleep, but that's the life of a parent, I think. So it's something I'm gonna have to get used to. Okay, so let's see, BSX. This is on the scanner. Boston Scientific Group. Okay, I knew I recognized that. All right, so I'm gonna go through here and look at some levels that I have. That I see for large cap movers. There are a couple of short ideas, a couple of long ideas, and then a couple of things that I've had my eye on for a while here. Let's see, what did CCIV do overnight? CCIV, okay. Well, so this will be one of the momentum names that I'm looking at. Let me get rid of, I guess I'll keep it on there. It's kind of cluttered with, with all of the drawings and lines and everything. But yeah, CCIV yesterday, at some point in the afternoon, just blazed up into two halts here. You can see this halt at 1250 and then halt. It squeezed right up into a 5-minute halt that then squeezed up into another 5-minute halt that then squeezed up to a high of $14 here and then came tumbling down. I managed to average into this at $12.75 a share in here. I mean, I bought like near the high, like $13.61. And then I bought again somewhere around 11 or so, something like that. And I wound up losing on it, but this is, I think this is another SPAC type thing, Churchill Capital Corp. And these things have gotten momentum on the second day. They've gotten continuation trades on the second day. So CCIV, miso soup, not that horny song that when you eat miso horny. Anyway, so yeah, I'll be watching CCIV today for momentum. It's now got a high, and let me get rid of that. I'll just get rid of that Fibonacci. So the blue is the post market, and the yellowish tone here is the pre-market. And obviously over 15, the first obvious level is over 15.99. There is an obvious level for momentum. So if it breaks through that, then it's blue skies. I don't think this thing has like any. Yeah, so SPACs are some way of getting around IPOs or something. So essentially, this thing IPO'd yesterday. I don't know what other way to put it, really. Apparently, this thing decided to start trading yesterday. So, I mean, they were available for purchase, and I've got 4 or 5 of them in my portfolio now. Yeah, I've got Sierra Bravo Victor Charlie Foxtrot, SBVCF. Another one is NOMD, is in November Oscar Mike Delta. Let's see. Another one is ITAC, India Tango Alpha Charlie. Another one that I have, and I have really small positions in 100 shares each. Another one that I have is CGRO, as in Charlie Golf Romeo Oscar. Another one I have is ADOC, Alpha Delta Oscar Charlie. I'm just kind of hanging on to them, waiting for them to start popping up like this. I mean, because just all of a sudden they're all of them are roughly priced around $10 a share, and they trade. I mean, people are buying and selling these things, you know, and then just one day, all of a sudden, boom, it's like I don't know, it's the SPAC's version of having gone public. I don't know really how else to put it exactly. So yeah, CCIV's on the table, and I will get involved if it makes it up over $15.99 here. So I do have something on watch for momentum, fortunately. Okay, so I'm going to go through. I'm going to have to go through and open all these again. Did I put CCIV on this one? I could have chosen the one that. Okay, I did. All right. So let's go to large cap movers here and save that. It's already saved. Okay, so here. Oh, plug is running away. I gotta sneeze. Hang on a second. Okay, I managed to cut the mic off before that one, so I didn't blast YouTube with a sneeze. Okay, so let's see here. Let me open a bunch of windows. And then I'll go through and look at my trades. I need to be a little bit faster this morning because in the past couple of days I have been running through my pre-market on YouTube and not giving myself enough time to set up my trade windows. So, all right, chart. This is one thing that if anybody knows a better system with Internet Explorer and Trading View, it's difficult to get everything open. So it's been a long time since I've used a different charting software, and the last one that I used was TC2000 many years ago, and so it's kind of a pain in the butt to get everything open, but it's just sort of a morning process. I mean, you know, the first world problems. So okay, so let's see. I'll go over the top three of the list here. Baba, I'm just watching Baba. This is just merely a spectator's thing for me right now because Baba might get put on a list where it can't be listed on the U.S. exchanges. Really beautiful head and shoulders. You don't see perfect, well-defined head and shoulders reversal like this very often. And it's my favorite reversal, and pretty much the only real reversal, actually, the only reversal that I actually like to play. And when it plays out, the entries and the exits are really obvious. The same scenario plays out over and over on the head and shoulders. I've gone through it on past videos. This is textbook, you know, head and shoulders behavior the tap off the neck, the test of the neckline, the drawback, the failure to get back up to the neckline again and a drawback, and then another failure that's even further away from the neckline and a pullback. So this thing has another $60. If the formation plays out, it has another $60 to the downside to go. I'm not going to be able to play it. It's too bad, but life goes on. All right, SBE. This is what I'm keeping an eye on. It's definitely moving upward in this channel here. It's an energy acquisition corp. Really, it's caught fire. It's working out. I'm waiting for this to play out a little bit more before I get involved again, which is a test of this support trend line here. And if we get another successful test of this support line here, then I will be in for a swing trade. DraftKings. So you can see this yellow line here is the pre-market. The blue line. Well, actually, you know what? You may not be able to see that. It's kind of hard to see. There's a yellow line right here at this 54.15, which is the pre-market price, and so it's opening up inside the wick of at the highs of yesterday's wick. Here's the closing price, and the next sort of this move from 54.15 to the next resistance spot is up here at 55, roughly $56. So this ought to be good for a trade. I'd like to see a little morning zigzag, a little pullback. I got a nice entry on it yesterday at $50 a share. For a trade, I still have 200 shares on this, so it's working out nicely. It'd be good to add a little bit to that position today, and then I'll probably add something like 400 shares and then sell 200 shares off to be able to put some money in my pocket, kind of thing. So then next up is Plug. Now Plug is doing this beautiful thing here, and I can't see it on the 1 day. This is yesterday's close right here at 53 or so, and it in the after hours or the pre-market hours has taken a run up here to a high of 63. So from 54 to 63, that's a $9 move. The percentage on that is what, 20% roughly. So I'm looking for a pullback. A pullback all the way down to 59.40 is an entry spot for me. I put a Fibonacci on this earlier, and I put the Fibonacci to the high. I used this candle, the high of this candle, to the close yesterday. So we'll see if these Fibonacci levels hold. I mean, it's kind of far away. $3 is kind of far away. But if I can get it to pull all the way back to just below 60, it ought to find support there, and it'll be good for a trade. Realty. So I am not bullish realty companies in the current economic environment don't do so well. Although everything else is bullish, people, when it's risk on, realty doesn't really add to the risk. It is an inflation play though. So if I have a level of 56.33 on O, and this is just off the charts. I'm not going on anything other than the charts. I've got another level on this thing too. Oh no, maybe it's just 56.33. Oh no, there are two levels. Okay, and these are the levels I'm using here. You can see a little bit more clearly on the daily chart. And so this is the current pre-market price. It's had a pretty significant pullback of $2 per share. This is slightly less than 2% in pre-market. And so there's the bottom of this. You know what? I'm going to add another level of support here. You can see this gap back here, 52.15. I'd be surprised to see it come all the way down to the bottom of this gap. So, and actually, that's actually the better area of support on this trade. Anyway, I'm just looking for a bounce of about 50 cents. So 56.33 is an entry for a 1% bounce. 54.23 is another entry for a 1% bounce, and then 52.15. If it makes it all the way down there, that ought to be a significant level of support for this stock. All right, if it makes it all the way down there. Let's put that back to the plug there. So O. Save this. So at least it's saved somewhere. All right. So that's plug O. Yeah. So and on plug, I'm looking for more continuation to the upside. O. Zoom, bearish on Zoom. And an area of support on Zoom that I have on the daily is, I should put this to the top of this gap right here. Let's make that a little bit bigger. And then it's so close to the top of this gap, the bottom of this breakup candle is probably another spot for support. So I'll be looking to short Zoom here into the support line. There isn't a lot of room between my support level 325 and 329, but it's enough for a 1% move to the downside that I can profit from. Same thing with Netflix. Netflix is pretty bearish right now. I don't have levels on. I haven't put levels on Netflix yet. And then BSX, Boston Scientific. I have an entry here at 35.49 and then 34.10 on Boston Scientific. I don't know. I don't think I've put alarms on anything yet. So alarm, create, alarm, create. I'm bullish on BSX. Let's see, 917. All right. I'm bullish on BSX because it's a tech play. And tech is a bullish place to be in our economic environment. So let's see, got a bit of a channel, a little bit of a channel working here. Let's throw a trend line on there. And then roughly right in here, let's put another, I usually don't like to cut through price so much, but I'm just doing a rough estimate on its channel price right now. So it's kind of quick and dirty. So yeah, Netflix right now, it's bearish, and it looks like it's working to the bottom, starting to work down to the bottom of its. Okay, we got a level on BSX triggered there. So BSX, what did you just hit? Okay, BSX, I guess, just popped up through during this 10-minute swap over here. So I'll reestablish that alarm. Okay, so where were we here? Plug O, Netflix. Zoom is next. I didn't save the levels correctly. All right, BSX. Only once. Let's see if it'll stop doing that now. Netflix. So I'm going to put a level here on Netflix below this pretty recent little level of support here. I'll put it on the 10-minute. The 1 day doesn't seem to trigger really very. It doesn't, like, it'll cross, but it doesn't trigger on the 1 day, so I got to put it on the 10-minute. Okay, zoom. Looking for support here. Need to hurry up. Getting close to the open. So let's get over to the 10-minute and put alarms there. So if it breaks this level and then comes up and then comes back down into this level, that's when I'll look to get into a short position on Zoom. There's another level down there. It's pretty far away, so I won't put an alarm on it. Okay, plug. I have an alarm on one of the levels, it looks like. Put an alarm on the other level. Then O. Okay, and so those are my stocks on watch. Zoom. Zoom twice right here. Let's bring this zoom over a bit, and then I can put my momentum names over here. All right, and so there we go. All right, we're set up for some trades today. Well, almost set up. Let me get these things into my platform. PLUG. O. ZM. NFLX. You know what? I might actually want to put Zoom and NFLX together in the same window. I can just toggle that one back and forth and put BSX up there. All right, so on plug, I'm looking to buy. On O, I'm looking to get a bounce. So I'm looking to buy right here on O for a bounce. So buy Netflix, I want to short, and BSX, I want to buy. And so then I'll put my quantities in after I get everything else set up here. I made some changes to my trading station setup. I've got 4 windows for charting and 2 windows for a separate machine for trading with 2 windows, a laptop and an extra monitor. Okay, so Miso, do I still have you on watch? Yes, I do. What are you doing? You're not doing anything. Get rid of you. Bye-bye. Okay, and then CCIV. I want to buy. Probably start with 500 shares. Let's see, and I guess this pre-market low right here could be support. We'll see how it behaves when it gets there. there are likely going to be people who have been holding this and are going to ABC at the open for some profit. I want to get my other monitor over here onto the SPY, and then my indicators on the SPY. The SPY is opening up pretty much even on yesterday's close. And I like to play the ad and the VIX as indicators for my SPY entries. Okay, that, and I'll put a, I think I should clean up my Fibonacci. There, I can change the settings on the Fibonacci levels here so that there aren't any colors, and I can change the location of the price too, because I have to go back. Like if I'm like this far into the Fibonacci levels, like as far as time's concerned, I can't see the price levels, so I have to go back and look and see exactly to the penny where they sit. Okay, so we've got a fib right here on this move from sort of this top end of this candle in the pre-market to here. I gotta figure out how to make these numbers bigger. My eyes are I'm getting old. You know, my eyes aren't what they used to be. So I've got a 61.8 level right here of $14.25. I'm gonna throw that up there for support level too. And I'm gonna get rid of the fib so that it's not as confusing. I found this setting where the blue tinted area right here is the post market, and the yellow tinted area is the pre market. So it's kind of easier to see. I don't have to like go down and look at the time. It changes from, you know, roughly 8 o'clock last night until 4 in the morning when the pre market opens up. Okay, so let's check all of my trading platform windows here. All right, I've got 320,000 to work with for margin. I'd rarely ever I just don't get that close to a margin usually on any given day, but sometimes I'll get close to it. So it's nice to have a big cushion there to use for trading. Okay, so looks like I'm all set up here. Let's got one more thing to put in. Let's see, 115. Okay, and now I'm set up. And I'm ready to trade. I'm going to put a level in for 1450 on CCIV. BSX 3550. I'd be surprised to see BSX actually come back into this 3550 level. Let's see what the news is. Oh, Boston Scientific sees sales falling in Q4, missing estimate. Okay. Boston Scientific is such a behemoth. Yeah, it's already creeping back up in the pre-market. Okay, we're live. Let's see if we can hit some levels here. Okay, Zoom is pushing up past yesterday's close. There's a breakdown candle low over here on the 10-minute. Let's see where it finds resistance. Got something hitting the scanner here. CCIV is working on making a push to its pre-market. A little bit of a gap and go here from $14.99 up to, get rid of that US dollar, and now it's coming back down. So there are going to be people who are holding this, from yesterday. They're going to say, okay, well, I got another $2 per share rise. I'm going to take some profits here. So let the folks who are taking profit on CCIV play out, and then look for a pullback and an entry. We'll see how far back it pulls. $14.50 looks like a pretty good pre-market spot. It's close to yesterday's. Actually, it's close to the aftermarket high and close to the pre-market low there. So if it goes all the way back to $14.50, I think it's a good spot to enter. I'm going to put $14.50 onto my trading level here. $14.50 is already in my trading level. Okay, good. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put in a buy at $14.50 here for 500 shares. Let's see if I can get filled. Might come up short. let's see what kind of volume we're working with here. These are 1 minute candles. So 3.8 million shares traded, 1.6 million shares traded, 2 million shares traded. So we're looking at pretty high volume here today already. Let's looks like it's starting to make its move back up there. Plug is coming back down a little bit. Let's see if the top of this, yeah, it looks like the top of this run-up candle right here is going to act as support. Let's see if it'll kind of do some work and move back up. That pre-market high was a stopping point for it. CCIV is, well, you know, that's just really a big, you know, up, down, up kind of thing. Let's see, A, B, C, D. So a break over 1536 here would be an entry for a move to its 1598 level. So update my trading window here. Okay, 1540 is the number to watch. This is a nice bottom candle right here. Nice pin. Looking for a move over 1540 on CCIV for an entry, and then after 1540, 1565, and then after 1565, the pre-market highs are on watch. A little bit of sideways movement. First 10 minutes of the day, well, first 20 minutes of the day, there are probably going to be people taking profits. So whichever happens first here, let's see. So if we get a test of support down here at 1450, that's an entry for a move up. Or if we get a test of this sort of wavy action here over 1540 right here, then that's a level of support. So it's kind of like whatever happens first. If the move up happens first, then that's the direction the stock's going, or that's the point at which to enter for the direction. And if it comes down to 1450, then that's the point of entry. So it just kind of depends on what the stock decides to do here. All right, coming in. Looks like we're going to come into 1450. So I'm going to put an order to buy at 1450. See if I can get filled. Okay. Give it a few more minutes here. Let's see which way it wants to go. $20,000 share seller at 99. I just hit 15 there for a moment. 6,000 share seller got worked down at 15. A little bit of a ceiling there at 15. 6,000 share seller at 1490. So it's still coming underneath. It's still coming under a bit of selling pressure here. And it's still kind of like, it's still deciding, is it gonna, hold this? Well, so we've got a little bit of a spike, just a few cents away from the 1450 level there. 1460, I think, was the low right here. 1457 is the low right here. So it almost came into the support, and buyers showed interest right here. Let's see, the first 10-minute candle is 14 million shares. And so far into this second 10-minute candle, we're at 2.5 million shares. So we got some sellers, got some people who came in and said, okay, I'm taking profits up here at 15. I don't know if they're taking profits on their whole position or how they're doing it, but let's see if the first 10 minutes clears out the sellers. If so, if the first 10 minutes clears out the sellers and we start seeing green on the way up, then the stock has potential for really kind of putting in another big move. It's up 13% on the day, so keep an eye on it. I'm watching the level 2 on it, and there are a lot of orders stacked up right here between 1497. A lot of sell orders stacked up between 1497 and 1520, 1515, 1510. So buyers have to show interest here, so we'll see. All right, so now there's a 20,000 share seller at 15 that just got cleared out. It must be a hidden seller. 15 keeps rolling through the level 2, but it's not changing right now there's like 200, 500,000 shares, 15. And so 15 is acting like a ceiling right now. There are hidden sellers there at 15. So that's going to act as resistance for a bit. So I will be looking for a likely we'll just have to see how it plays out. It'll probably pull back again here. If if it can't get through 15, it's going to wear out the buyers. Buyers are going to get exhausted and they'll start to pull back again. Let's see what kind of volume we had on that in the 1 minute right here. So 400,000 shares traded right here. It couldn't, with 400,000 shares, I mean, relatively speaking, I mean, you'll see how it goes. But yeah, 15 was definitely a ceiling right here in this time frame. VIX is still rather stubbornly high. I mean, we're hanging around, all-time highs, and the VIX is still at 24. I mean, there's still some fear in the market. I imagine it'll change as earnings season comes out, and we'll see how Q4 earnings were. Zoom is zooming. Yesterday's high is at 350. Netflix. So Netflix apparently is having a growth issue. Subscribers aren't coming into Netflix. Boston Scientific. 3550 is a level I have here for Boston Scientific as a buy. CCIV, working on the support level. Let's see. I still have my 1450 order in. And Plug is rolling up to new all-time highs here. That's a blue sky. Let's go over here to Plug. Okay, so let's see. Nope. And Netflix. Zoom's coming down to this level of support. I wonder about Zoom as far as the coronavirus trade goes, as it's called, the stay-at-home trade. I think things have probably fundamentally changed now. I don't have any data on it. And data, it really is necessary. You can't just go on a hunch. You really got to see the data on it. Zoom could be, you know, it could continue. So Netflix is having a hard time with subscribers, but Zoom, um, you know, there's been a shift. Like, for example, my wife is a successful professional, and as of, gosh, almost a year ago now, I guess, somewhere close to that, she got into her corporate body armor, or her corporate attire, her professional dress, and went into the office every day, and had an office of staff working for her, and so on and so on. But since this whole thing has happened, okay, so I got filled on my CCIV here at 1450. See if we can get it to start turning around here. 1425. Looks like it might be another entry to add. She does everything still. She interfaces with everyone up and down the food chain there at her work via Zoom. And everything that they do is performed online now. All the documentation and her work product is entirely gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's all paperwork and writing and budgeting and so forth, and so they don't need an office. They don't. And I mean, brick and mortar is just commercial property. It's going the way of like the horse and buggy. It looks like the the home office, I think, is going to be like it's going to be residential. I think from now on. Okay, CCIV caught a little bit of support right around in this area. Love to see it decide to turn around and start making a move for its pre-market highs from this point. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This thing has got to pay a decent dividend. 23 cents. Ugh. You got to beef up your dividend. Boston Scientific. if Boston Scientific blasts through, so Boston Scientific right now is coming down here, and if it just barrels through that price, I'll look for an entry down here at 34.14. See what the So we've got volume of 1 million plus 700,000 plus 300,000, so 2 million shares traded on Boston Scientific so far this morning. Still coming under selling pressure here, and it's hanging around its low. We'll just keep an eye on it. I'd like to see if it touches it, then we might be able to get a trade off of it. It's right now on the 1 minute. It's stair stepping down, which is kind of like this this general kind of thing that stocks do for a while sometimes. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it, see where we can start averaging into a long position. It's reporting. It's saying fourth quarter revenues, whatever it is, are going to be below guidance. So this thing, I might just leave it alone. I hate to try and be a bull on a bearish move. You want to trade in the direction of the trend. I want to trade in the direction of the trend. CCIV still selling a little bit here. Let's see. This thing is also, if it weren't for the fact that it's a momentum stock, I'd be more worried about this. But momentum stocks just have a habit of finding a spot, turning around, going the other way, making big moves. Gonna take a look here, kind of around. I'll pull down another window here. Kind of take a look at things for a minute. Sun's putting in a nice move. Tested a 1, 2, and it came up short on a test of this little support line here. This is a short-term support line, and it blew through. If it were going to make I'm invested in this, and I was keeping an eye on it for a head and shoulders pattern, so just in case it decided to make a head and shoulders pattern. But because it blew over this left shoulder, you can see here, this price action right here just took out the left shoulder. There are traders these days who will call a right shoulder, even though it's higher than the left shoulder. They'll still say, oh, it's a head and shoulders reversal if it doesn't make it past the head. However, the way, the first trading book that I read way back in 2016 or 2006, was a book called High Probability Trading by Link is his last name. Let's look at BSX here. We just had an alarm. All right. Let's see what kind of if we get a big downdraft right here on price in this candle, then I'll wait for some stability. Maybe 34.53. We've got 34.09 down here as support. let's see what happens with it. And so it's nice to, from my perspective, this is no longer a successful or a potential head and shoulders pattern because the right shoulder price has just taken out the left shoulder price. So this would just be a continuation on what could possibly be a channel move on a grind up energy in quad two. Quad two is growing inflation or growing higher rate of inflation and a higher rate of GDP. So Q4 earnings are going to, the data, as the data rolls in, we'll see, what kind of economic regime that we're in. I'm bullish, but that's because I subscribe to Hedgeye, which is a hedge fund managing team. They've got 3 levels, like bronze, silver, gold. They call them something. He calls it something different. So it's like I have the middle tier. It's and I think it's totally worth it. I don't like his real time alerts very much, but the general portfolio management, I don't think you can beat it for the price. But that's just my opinion. Hedgeye is saying we're headed into in the U.S. we're headed into quad 2 for 2 quarters. Q1 and Q2 of 2021 are going to be an environment where both inflation and GDP are having higher rates of change to the positive side, and that's bullish for stocks. Broadly speaking, things like gold and treasuries and the dollar will weaken, which sounds counterintuitive. A lot of people, like, you can't have a weakening dollar with weakening gold, but it happens. It's happening now. If you do a correlation right now on the dollar and gold, there's a 0.77 in the past 30 days. And actually, for the past 90 days, there's a 0.77 correlation between the motion in the dollar, the movement in the dollar, and movement in gold. So things ought to be, I don't foresee. There are a lot of people who are like looking for a reversal. They're looking for a top. This is the SPY right here. This is the daily on the SPY. They're a pullback, a correction, so on and so on. I just don't see it happening. And not only is Hedgeye calling for a continued 2 quarters of Q2 in 2021 in the United States, but among all of the developed nations and a lot of emerging markets, every country, all of them are going into quad 2, which is like this global quad 2 for 2 quarters, quite simultaneously hitting some economic, a very positive economic environment. So there's way too much data. There's way too much for any one person to try and digest in the world. I mean, and so fortunately I've got professionals who can do it for me. So okay, I'm going to take some profits here on CCIV. I've got an entry at 1450 and it's climbing up to 1490 now. That's a 3% move. So I'm going to hold on to half of the position to see if we can get a push to those pre-market highs. Right now, it's not looking so great. And so I'm just going to take a little bit of profits here, put some cash in my pocket. Why did my order not go through. Okay, there it goes. Just took a moment, it seems. So from 1450 to where I got out, let's see. Refresh my transactions here. So I bought in at 1450 and I got filled at 1490. It's a 40-cent profit on 500 shares. So $200, a 3% gain on those, slightly less than 3% gain on those, on that trade, on that small trade. I really ought to size up a little bit more. It's the right environment to be more aggressive. Plug is pulling back. Let's see. So I have a small trade. I have 100 shares on Plug, and I bought at $64.99, and now it's pulling back. It's pulling back a bit more after this run. It's pulling back a bit more than I'd like to see it pull. I'm going to dump that. Yeah, it's so I'm going to dump and see if I can get in at a better price. See if I can get in on a better trade. I'm just wrong. I'm wrong on the trade. So that puts me at about flat for the day. Let's see here. Realized gains here. Yeah. So I just wasn't paying attention, unfortunately. Moved up. I got in right after it broke. Let's see. It broke over this level right here. It broke over this candle, and I got in, and it was moving in the correct direction, and I wasn't paying attention to it, and now it's moving in the wrong direction. Perhaps there will, be some support here, but as of right now, it's up 16%, and this is really gappy. There are a lot of gaps in here, and that means there's a lot of downside to be filled. It could be a long time before it comes to fill the downside, but this is it's getting worn out. So unfortunately, I did not make a profit on that trade, and it actually flattened my my CCIV trade. Or flat. So I still have half of my position. Oh no, I cleared out my entire position on CCIV. Oh well. All right. SPY is creeping back up again. I think this is another buy the dip opportunity. I think this is a tiny dip right here. This is, like what, 381 to 378. That's not even a percentage dip. But I think there are people who are going to be like, it's an entry. Let's push past 381. I think there's a near-term upside according to all of the complicated math that Hedgeye does. They've got a near-term upside of 384 on the SPY. So, let's check out CCIV on the 5-minute here. Okay, so actually, this is a decent setup that I like to play. It's called a VWAP setup. So, yeah, the entry was right here at $15 even, and you know what? From watching it earlier, $15 even was resistance. So it just came. So it pulled back to 1450, and then just broke through 1450. Now we're getting into these topping tails right here, where the highest amount of volume was. So this thing could creep. It could creep up, and then a break of 1562. It's really hard to tell in here. But I know watching the morning, watching the first 10, 20 minutes of trading on this stock, that $15 even was a major point of resistance for CCIV. So to see it above 15 is encouraging. I mean, there are buyers who are interested. However, I don't know if that's at this point going to translate into buyers who are interested in pushing it to all-time highs. I don't know enough about the company to have that level of confidence in the price action on this equity at the moment. Plug is still pulling back. Yeah, I think Plug is done for the day. Zoom, what are you doing, Zoom? I'm going to take a stab at Zoom here. It's looking bullish. Oh, and Netflix is coming down to that level right there. Yeah, that would have been a good short. So Netflix and Zoom were short ideas. Now Zoom might be like I was saying earlier, the home office is going to be here to stay. It looks to me. So publicly available and readily available conferencing software is also likely here to stay. So Zoom, after this pullback here, let's see. Yeah, it's coming down. So the support levels that I have it coming into right now are just prior day support levels. The major support level I would look for is the top of this gap. This three, let's see if I can get that level. 325, is that what that is? Yeah, this 325.10 level right here. Over the course of the next, I don't know, week or two or so. If and when Zoom comes down into this 325 level right here, I'll be a buyer. Today, I'm not so sure. Okay, yeah, Boston Scientific is falling away. It's too bad. It's a great company. They are, I believe they're health technology, but they also do a lot in robotics and AI. So there's definitely a future in this company. It's just going to be after this. It looks like it's going through a period of consolidation here. The pre-market high on the SPY is 380.19. The VIX is falling away a bit here today, and we could see some pretty bullish behavior on the SPY today. Making a nice move past 379 right there. I wonder if there's some news that just hit. Post market. Let's see what all-time highs are. So if the SPY decides to make it past 380.50 roughly, then I mean it could make a bum rush for 381.49. That would be very nice. There are a lot of people calling for a market correction, a top, so on and so on. Hedge Eye isn't calling for it. Netflix made a bounce right here. I have a level that marked off, and I don't remember where it came from, of 22.2 on the VIX. It just seems to be a level that it is just holding on to. It's like it'll go below it for a little bit, and then it'll run back up above it, and then try and make a run higher to 30 or something, and then it'll drop back down again. I don't know what it is about 22.2. To see the VIX run to 22.2 today, and I'll bring the VIX down. This is where'd it go? Yeah, this is the VIX right here. This is the 22.2 level that I have marked off from somewhere. I don't know where. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, the top of this gap. Yeah, so it hasn't come down to the bottom of this gap yet. I'm going to mark that off too. So to see the VIX come back below 22.2 and then break below this 18.5, 18.1, that's the real goal on the VIX right now, to see fear come out of the market and to see the market is bullish. I mean, this thing is just like the bull won't die. So the next, in my opinion, the next big moves when the VIX gets down below 18 here, it's going to be just, I think the SPY is going to be above 400. But it all has to happen, though. You don't know what's going to happen until it happens. It's just kind of the way the market works. It's the way you got to trade it as a trader. That's where you got to be as a trader. Okay, so this is the pre-market area from this morning. And then all-time highs are only, all-time regular market highs are, only a point or so above that. And Netflix is falling below that level. Netflix is a screaming short, so I'm going to initiate a short position here at 491.09. 50 shares, so it's a starter. And I had a short on Netflix that I started at 508 right here, and then I took profits on it yesterday. It was a small position. I think it was only like 10 shares. So I'm just going to watch this thing fall away. The next support level I have after this 491 level is this downward trend line down here around 455. So I'll let it play out. Let's see, earnings are on the 19th. Today is the 12th, so next week. This time next week. So on the 10-minute, I'd like to see a rather drastic move down, something comparable to the $7 move I made here. So from 491 down to 483, and then I'll take some profits, because then the way I'm seeing this play out is that after it takes this rather significant drop today, after it makes this rather significant drop today, it's gonna find some support right around 483, 475, something like that, and then come up and test this support line. And when it does that and it successfully fails here, then I'll look to initiate a new short position again. And then if it comes down here, bounces and then breaks this downward trend line roughly, then it's toast. It's ABC. We're going back to the teens. Where was this thing? This thing in 2013. It's not going back that far. Pardon me. But it's 400 is certainly possible. This this area right in here is certainly possible. 389-ish. It's got to break below this channel. It'll consolidate sideways for a while. It's, you know, one quarter does not make a trend, so it'll bounce around and do all sorts of crazy acrobatics. So, you know, we get to wait and see. CCIV, I'm going to mute you again here. I need to clear my throat. Pardon me. Pardon the interruption for all of, like, maybe one viewer or so that I get every once in a while. SPY is doing its thing. Very nice. Definitely like the way, you know, it's nice to have a portfolio to trade around. You know, so I have you know, Lightspeed to do my day trading with, and then I have Schwab's Street Smart Edge that I just kind of keep an eye on, and that's where I invest. I'm still really heavy in cash, probably a lot heavier than I should be in cash on in my investment portfolio, but it's nice to see, you know, investments working out. You know, it's nice to see money being put places and it working out. Boston Scientific still falling away. At 30, I'm looking at the level 2. Yeah, poor Boston Scientific. Pobrecito. SPY pulling back a little bit here. VIX. The VIX is coming out of oversold on the 1 minute, but on the 10 minute, it's still curling down from overbought. Mixed signals, and I also like to use the ad here. So we'll bring the ad in. So the ad is coming out of overbought on the 1 minute, and it is staying overbought on the 10 minute. So all of these relative strength indicators here, kind of in conjunction, is what I like to use to time short-term trades on the SPY. So you can see the SPY hit relative strength here, but in bullish phases, the default is bullish. The default is up. So when you get, you know, the SPY is kind of wandering around here in the, you know, 50-something strength range, you know, on the 1 minute and the 10 minute. You know, the VIX is coming out of oversold on the 1 minute and still dropping down out of overbought on the 10 minute. And then the ad is dropping down out of overbought on the 1 minute, but it's holding up here on the 10 minute. You know, it's still it's bullish. It's still bullish. It's not the entry that I want. Like when I want to enter into long contracts or call contracts on the SPY is when the SPY is coming out of overbought on both the 1 minute and the 10 minute, and then that in conjunction with the VIX coming out of oversold on the 1 minute and the 10 minute, and the ad coming out of oversold. Did I say that correctly? I have to start over again. I forget where I am. So when the SPY, if I want to go long on the SPY, it's when it's coming out of oversold on the 1 minute and the 10 minute simultaneously, while the VIX is coming out of overbought on the 1 minute and the 10 minute, and while the ad is coming out of oversold on the 1 minute and 10 minute. When all those things line up, then it's a buy. And the opposite is true. So if you flip around those moves on the relative strength indexes for the three different, sort of criteria here, then it's a sell. Then you can short it. I just there's no. I could take this entry down here, on the spies that came out of oversold here on the 1 minute, and it did the same dip move here out of oversold. It technically didn't go all the way into oversold, but it's coming back up from relatively oversold conditions. That would have been a good place to enter, but I've found for the high probability trades, for trades that you can have a lot of confidence in, you take the emotions out of trading. You got to have the criteria all line up at the same time, and life is easier, with trades that work out that way. That with setups that fulfill all the criteria you're looking for. So it really is a matter of waiting for the trades to come to you instead of chasing or forcing or seeing something that just really isn't there. CCIV, not really getting the continuation that I was anticipating for the day. So, back burner. Boston Scientific still dropping away. Netflix is holding down here below this level. It's the 1 day. Let's see if it's consolidating a little bit down here below. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of consolidation here on the 1 minute. It's easier to see on the 1 minute. Let's see how it looks on the 5 minute. Yeah, so setting up for a bear flag here. So let's see. It's possible a test of 491. I mean, certainly it's possible. Anything's possible in the market. I mean, really, like monkeys might fly out of my monitor right now with the way that I've seen things happen in my trading career. Setting up a little bit of a bull flag here, and so then a breakdown below this 480. I'm going to put a temporary mark on it right here. This 489.36 would be a signal for the next move lower. I could probably add a few more shares to that short position. net consensus on this broader market right now is short, and it's I'd have to look at the numbers again, but it's a bit extreme. And so, what the market just loves to do is it loves to make as many people look like fools as much of the time as possible. And so, with so many retailers, retail traders, retail types hedging to the downside, or even being perspective to the downside, it just creates force up. It's just the way that it works. It's a pretty quiet day. We'll see what happens when the lunch hour comes through. All right, pretty quiet. The scanners aren't really hitting anything, and the scanners really TYME is the only thing I see on the scanners that like kind of hit consistently. Otherwise, IRIX, IRIX, IRIX hit for a little bit, but really hasn't done anything sustained. It's just quiet. 489. Let's see. Let's put. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna put an alarm on that. Let's see. There it hit. All right. So now Netflix is off to. Let's see. If this candle closes below that last candle right there. Netflix could be off to further lows for the day. I have a 483 is what I said, I think. 484, maybe 483 is where I have a target. So on 50 shares from 491, I'm in at 491.08. On 50 shares on a $7, that's a $350 trade. Yeah, there it goes. It's letting go again. Yeah, so as I get older, my memory just isn't working as well. I can't recall, what was said exactly about Netflix. There was this rather intricate presentation done by one of the analysts at Hedgeye on why Netflix is a short, not just sell, not just get out of your position, take profits kind of thing, but also a short, short this thing, and it has something to do with subscribership, content, subscribership, competition, so on and so on, which is interesting to see. I mean, because Hedgeye, 2 years ago or so, but when I first started subscribing to it, was bullish. They had this bullish presentation on Netflix. They're like, yeah, it's a buy. It's got this and this and this going for it. So let's see, back here in early 2020, late 2019. So let's see, where's 2019? 2019 is right here. So yeah, late 2019, right in this area, right in here in this area, Hedgeye was like, yeah, buy Netflix. It was a good call. $488.34. So we're down below this little support area. Let's see. I think there's just going to be a symmetric move here. $5.15. So it was a $30 move into the support area. So $30 from here. Yeah, that puts us $30 math, 89, 79, 479, somewhere in there. I'm gonna start taking profits at it. If it goes as low as 484 today, I'm taking profits on it. SPY is kind of in float mode. It'll probably dip down a little bit. Yeah, it's dipping down a little bit, and then find some buyers in here somewhere and run back up. There's this this breakup candle. This is the 1 minute, so let's look at the 10-minute. So the 10-minute has if the SPY goes as low as this 378.80 right here, it'll just be a test of this run-up candle, and then it'll be a buy. You can actually, on candles like this, you can actually put a Fibonacci on the candle itself. So yeah, this what do you call that? I can't see, the numbers are too small. So whatever this level is right here, 378.80 roughly, is probably a pretty good spot to make a buy on the SPY. For a trade, for a scalp. A lot of bottom candles here, a lot of top candles on CCIV right here, a lot of bottom candles right here. So it's probably just gonna do a thing where it runs around the price all day. A move above these opening highs would indicate that it's going to go for the pre-market high, but there's only 1561 to 1598. I mean, there's only 30 cents there to grab, and so if you try to grab 50% of 30-cent move. I mean, it's 15 cents. So it's kind of tight. With stop losses and stuff. So not really a juicy trade. It might be worth entering at this 15.13 level. $15 was a lot of resistance. And so a move back above 15 is slightly encouraging, but a move back over 15.13 would be really bullish. Well, I'm sorry, it wouldn't be bullish. It wouldn't be really bullish. It would be, you would know where your stop is. If you get in at 15.13 and then it runs back below 15 again, you just got to cut the losses. So you know where your stop is. So it's there's something to trade against. The upside from 15.13 would be really nice, but again, it's still trading really heavily. I mean, there's a lot of volume here. There are 52 million shares traded on the day. So I think I'll probably give it a stab for 200 shares over 15.13 for a move to over $16 possibly, if it can clear through all of this selling that happened in the morning session. I'm going to get an order ready at I'll say 15:25. By the time I hear the bell and switch over to everything, I'll probably be able to get cleared. I'll probably be able to get filled around 15:25. I'll keep an eye on it here for a minute. Is Netflix trying to find a little bit of a bottom? Let's put that. Netflix looks like it's trying to find a little bit of a bottom here. 30 seconds left to go on this candle. Oh, DraftKings. How could I have overlooked DraftKings? Let's replace BSX with DraftKings. Oh, I definitely missed that trade. I did not have levels set up for DraftKings. Did not have levels set up for DraftKings. All right, well, so I'm a little late to the party on DraftKings here. This is a little bit of a pivot here. So, a 70-cent move. I could grab 30 cents of it, 35 cents of it. I thought I had levels set up for DraftKings pre-market. I thought I had done that. So thought wrong. Yeah, the entry would have been right here over $54. Would have been the proper entry for DraftKings. I've missed it today, so unless it decides to, make a huge move. That would be it's up 3% on the day already. So perhaps a pullback down to this 54 in the same way that I traded it on the day that it pulled back to $50 a share. Was that right here? No. Right here? No. Right here. Yep. It was right here. I think it was on this day. One of these 2 days right here. I don't know if you can see that. I grabbed some shares on one of these 2 days right here at $50 a share, and managed to hold on to it for the day, for the run. I think it was this day right here. Managed to hold on to it for the run. and $50 just being the psychological round number of $50. Little VWAP move there. Netflix is trying to put in a bottom right here. So on Netflix, just this little intraday movement right here. Got flag pull down, then some consolidation sideways. And the way it usually plays out, you might get a little up move here, but then it's back down again. So there's one pull, well, I call it a pullback, but there's one move up here on the 10-minute. So let's see here, 4.99, and we'll call it down to 4.93, $6. So from, let's call it from 4.91, yeah, $6. So 4.85, 4.84 roughly level is where I'm looking to take profits on that trade. see a little something just hit the scanner. DLPN. DLPN has been hitting the scanner intermittently through the morning, and I haven't jumped on it, which means I'm too late for the move. So I'll just kind of watch here. So it's moved from 373 to 5 to a high of 503, 5 something or other here. Let's look at the daily activity. Yeah, really spiky. Stock split back here, 1 for 5. Let's see what the news is. The news is all the way back from November. I don't see any fresh news on it. I don't know why it's moving. Zoom is putting in a nice bull flag on the day here. Let's see if we've got an entry. Nice triangle working here. We'll see a breakup or a breakdown here on Zoom here pretty soon. So it's falling below the pennant as of right now. This is not scientific by any means. And you can just move these things around to kind of make it look however you want it to look. But we'll definitely know there will be if it's going to make another move up, it'll start to spike kind of like this. What time is it here? It's almost 11 o'clock. So there might be another session of buying happening here in the morning time, another session of trading happening. Plug found some support here at this 9 simple moving average here, moving back up. 64.99 was not a good place to enter, obviously. Just kind of figured it would just kind of keep going up. Oh well. Let's see, DraftKings is pulling back just a tad from its highs on the day here. Yeah, so a test of this $54 level would be a good spot. Is a good spot for an entry. The SPY is dropping back down a bit. The 378.80 is the mark. It just dropped down to a low of 378.80. So the bottom of that breakup candle was a good spot to trade against. Let's see if it can lift away and move above the 379 and hold above 379.61. Let's see what it can do there. No, I don't want vehicle warranty. Thanks for the update.
Former Trump official Fiona Hill. The president's actions have
I mean, trading these days in front of a computer like this, it's pretty boring. I would, as a young man, I probably would have preferred and loved the open outcry trading system that they used to do on the floors of the exchanges. As an old man, I turned 48 this year. I'm more than happy to just sit back and click some buttons. This is a textbook entry right here. This 10-minute candle, the bottom of this 10-minute candle is just offering a perfect spot of support for a trade. So if my indicators lined up with this the bottom of this candle at the same time, I definitely would have taken this trade. And what it did, what the SPY just did was it ran up here from 378.79 up to 379.57. So about a 75-cent move. And after it put this move in right here, it drew in a bunch of traders. I fall victim. I do it too. But like, okay, cool. It's making, it's going to continue making higher, highs here. I'll get in right here and, expect it to make another, 75-cent move or whatever, and it doesn't do it. Obviously. And so, what it did is it just pulled back and tested the low of this break up candle. I mean, to the penny. Look at that. The low here is 378.80, and the open was at 378.79. I mean, so if you bought a penny in front of the low of this candle, you know exactly where you have to stop out, which is a tight stop. So if you lose, you want to lose small. And if the price action were to have gotten to the bottom of this candle and not turned around and started going the other direction right here, but instead started to go in this direction, you would know it right away, and you'd be able to exit the trade. But this breakup, this 10-minute body right here, offered just the perfect entry for a trade on call options. And so the SPY is holding strong up here. It's only 3 points away. Two points away, 200 basis points, but $2 away from all-time highs, from making all-time highs. That's nothing for the SPY. The SPY can do that, and to the dismay of a lot of short sellers, to the dismay of a lot of people who are in puts, which would be my guess as to what is about to happen. I don't know if it's going to be today or tomorrow or this week even. However, my guess is that the SPY just continues higher over the course of the next 3-4 weeks. There's no correction, and just eats people's hedgings, just eats their money, their hedging money. So if you want to be short, there are things to short, you know. Let's look at gold. Let's see what gold is doing right now. Gold, barely. I think 19, I've forgotten what the risk range is. All right, so here comes the SPY making a charge for daily highs. Let's see. It's daily high today is 379.72, and it's pushing for it. 65, 64. Put an alarm on that one too. A move over this high is a buy for a push up, and then you can re-enter it as support. So if we get a move on the SPY here where it pushes up over this resistance, this previous day's high right here. Let's change the color there to green. And then it'll come down and test and then move higher again. That's just classic market behavior. Let's see, what's the VIX doing? So the VIX is trying to fall below the day's lows at 23.24. God, if this thing could make a charge for 22.2 today, if it could run down to 22.2 and break 22.2, that'd be beautiful. I'm looking at the level 2 on the SPY on the SPY right now. So essentially what's happening right now is it's kind of a quiet day. So this thing might bounce back and forth between these two levels for most of the day. We might see the price action, you know, just do this for like all day. And what it'll probably do is it'll probably break a little bit above and then come back down, break a little bit below, and just kind of suck traders in all day until it decides to finally move in one direction or the other. And my guess is that the one direction that it will finally decide to move in is going to be the upside once it decides to move. This is a 1 minute chart, and so the bull flag happening here could play out. We'll see. The price to beat is definitely 379.72 for the time being. Got 69 on the ask, 68, 69, 69. Some buying there at 69. I got 70 on the ba-boom, ba-boom. Look at that go. Look at that thing go. Now, what I anticipate happening is continued move. I don't know how far, maybe to 380, and then a little retest on the 1 minute here on the 1 minute scale. They'll probably tap 180, then come back down and test this 379.72 level over the next few minutes. What I'd like to see it do is I'd like to see it run up and hit 380. I'd like to see it hit 380 right here, and then come down and come close to 379.72, but not actually breach 379.72. That's not saying that it couldn't keep going higher if it goes below 379.72. It could, but when price comes close to a support level and moves away from it again after breaking it, buyers are coming in. Buyers are making their moves on the market. Okay, so if symmetry, now this could just suck in a bunch of traders. So there obviously a bunch of people were watching that level because of the small volume pop that happened at this time of the day. In a close here, actually, a close right here on this 1 minute after that break is a little bit important to see it hold that break on the few moments after it makes the break. It's a bit important. So we have 73, 71, 70, 69. We're coming back down below it. So there's a little bit of a tease there, So if you weren't in at this level down here, and you waited until it broke, if you weren't super fast to get your 74 to 86 to get your, 12 cents of profit right there, then you're going to be riding this pullback if it decides to pull back here. It continues to pull back. Netflix consolidating down low here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what it does on this next 10-minute candle. There's a minute 32 left. Let's see if it decides to bottom out. Or if it decides to continue lower. Next 10 minutes or so ought to be rather telling. 12 minutes. It ought to play out. Yeah. just kind of watching and waiting. I like to listen to music while I trade. If anybody happens to stumble across these feeds and you have some input on whether you like music coming across the channel or not, let me know. We'll play some music in the background here in case you hear some tympanic type of instrumental type music stuff happening. Let's see. So I have ADD, and there's certain types of music that really help a person with ADD concentrate, and that is one of those types of music is techno. I love the Chemical Brothers. Kind of dating myself there. Yeah, look at that. A little bit of a tease there. A little tease of a breakout. So this is likely to be what the SPY does for the most of the rest of the day. Is it's going to just churn, and it's gonna tear traders up for the day. And now that this candle has given up its secret, like kind of like now that this setup has given up its secret, this little trade right here has given away it's like unmasked itself. Then it's done. There's no more trading this setup. So when most likely when it comes back down to this level right here, it's either it's going to come up short or it's going to plunge through it and pick some arbitrary price in here somewhere and start moving back up again. And it's going to move like it's just going to do something that keeps sucking traders in. Okay, got about 5 minutes left until it hits 11:30. 10:30 is an important close. 11:30, it's not as important as 10:30. And then 12:30 is an important close. I don't trade. I tend to not trade between 12:30 and 2:30. If I go back and I look at my trader view statistics, performance during 12:30 and 2:30 is really low. It's essentially the hours that I traded are from, if I'm not already in a trade and letting it run for the day, then the hours that I'll actively trade are between 9:30 and 11. I'll do some pre-market stuff on occasion, so a little bit before 9:30 sometimes. But between 9:30 and 11, and then between 2:30 and 4. Now, I don't get to trade between 2:30 and 4 as often because I have a son who's in kindergarten, and his pickup time is at 2:50. So really, my trading hours, the time for me to make money, is between 9:30 and 11. And that's convenient because those are usually the most active times on the market. The recent history, though, recent activity has moved. There are days, in particular Monday seems to be a day when things move later in the morning, a little bit around lunchtime, and definitely more in the afternoon on Mondays. So, I just have to, play the cards I'm dealt. So that's, this is the way I've chosen things to be. And I've chosen to be married and have kids. And I'm fortunate that, I'm able to do this for a living and work around that schedule. Speaking of which, it's getting close to lunchtime. I'm getting hungry, and I've got a little bit of a shopping list here. So, made a run for 380. Now it's coming back down again. Yeah, I'd like to see the SPY catch support. Let me put a magnet on that. So I'd like to see the SPY catch support around the 50% mark, this 379.15. That's hard to see for me, so it's going to be even more difficult to see through YouTube. But yeah, this 379.16 level, I'd like to see the SPY hold that for a run into the afternoon. A run up higher into the afternoon, kind of it's not a cup and handle, and it's just something that after a while you get used to seeing, is kind of like this move up, move up, move up kind of thing, and it'll catch momentum in the afternoon. We can hope, or not hope, but well, that's what I want for it to do. 1480. All right, so this is, so I hate getting left behind. I've been really fortunate to have gotten into some positions that I want to average into them, so while they move sideways for a bit, or move in a range. And I mean, I hate to complain about being profitable in a trade, but let's go here. So risk range plays. Yeah, so I'm in this one at 10:03. I think I'm going to add a little bit. on this one here. ADOC. Buy 100 shares here. Where is it? Okay, it went through. Let's see where I got filled. ADOC. I made some adjustments to my investing platform, and now it's like not easy to see my fills and stuff. I have to fix that later. Spot is taking, yep, a dip. And so now what's going to happen, there are going to be a whole bunch of people who are going to enter into this, be like, oh, look, it's tanking, it's going down. It's the break where, the correction is starting. It's, we're headed to the lows, and then it's going to turn right back around. Horrible. Okay, so that's a little bit of ADOC. Let's see, BPTH. 396. I'll wait for a pullback, a little bit more of a pullback on this one. Circ. Okay. We're getting close to an interesting spot for a little bit. I've got 400 shares of this one at $3.14 a share. Okay, yeah, I can average in here on Circ. At 244. That'll work. Okay. CGRO. I missed my chance on CGRO. I'm in 100 shares of CGRO at a kind of a high price, $16.25, and yeah, I was looking at like 13.5, between 13.5 and 12, to get back into Circ, or to average in more. Okay, oh, I'm sorry, not Circ, but CGRO. Okay, ECPG. See, we go for another 100 shares of ECPG here. It's that is not a nice chart. Look at that. Like, so if I were to, so I started averaging in on ECPG at roughly $32.70. It's super volatile, but basically this $32.79. So $32.79 is roughly the average. So I'm gonna add a little bit to my position here. All right. EXPC, this is an interesting one. I'm in a pretty small position. And this is one where I was expecting to have time to average into it. Now I'm in 100 shares at 11.32. I think I'll wait for a pullback on this one to somewhere around $12. See if I can wait on that one. ITAC, I'm in at $10.50 a share. Yeah, 10.50. This is just another SPAC. Good. Okay, there we go. Joe, let's get a cup of Joe. And then Mitch. Let's buy some Mitch. Okay, Nomad. All right. SBVCF. SBVCF. All right. Sun. I'm going to leave Sun alone. I'm fully allocated to my energy in my portfolio. It makes up 7% of my portfolio right now. And Sun isn't included in the XLE, and I don't know why I thought it was when I started investing in it. And so anytime somebody buys, shares of the XLE, essentially they're allocating funds to all of the equities within the XLE. And that's really passive investing is really like the most popular way of investing right now. So that fund style of investing. So I have other energy stocks through the XLE, and Sun is a bit of an outlier. because I like the dividend, but it's a little bit risky. So I'm fully allocated to energy. And TAT, TATT. Let's buy a little bit. All right. The spies come back down. It's not the same trade as the first time that it touched this price here at the bottom of this breakup candle. And so, like buying right here, you know, going long or short right here, I have no conviction on it. Rather sudden burst of volume. Looks like NCNA. Yeah, NCNA is trying to squeeze into a halt. It just halted, just out of the blue. Started catching a bid. Yep. The Zoom is definitely falling away here. So I was not expecting that. So now we have this. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it was on the table this morning for a short trade. That was before it ran up $11 in the morning session. And I mean, you can see the contrast here between Netflix and Zoom. So I was looking at both of these for shorting ideas, Netflix and Zoom. A rather significant difference in the charts there. I'm short Netflix. I'm not short Zoom. I was expecting Zoom after this morning move, pull back, and then start finding new highs on the day after I saw its morning session. It could fall away at this point. All right, kind of waiting on Netflix here. It's a little bit of a consolidation range here. I'll go to a 10-minute chart to see the lows. So the low of the day is on this candle at 48.15. And then this candle went down to as low as 488.15. Yeah. So 488.15 is acting like support for the moment. I think it's going to continue to fall away, and I think it's going to start falling away soon. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're starting to fall away now. $377.85. That's the next sort of area of support for the SPY to breach if it's going to keep falling away. All right. If the bulls are going to show up, they better show up fast. All right. So let's see. In the 1 minute, we've got the SPY coming out of oversold. On the 10 minute, made another approach to oversold here. And it's not coming out of oversold though. And on the VIX, we've got the 1 minute coming out of overbought. Not quite a hit of overbought on the VIX on the 10 minute. And the ad is coming out of, well, the ad is still in oversold and coming out of overbought on the 10 minute. Coming out of oversold on the 1 minute and coming out of overbought on the 10 minute. On its face, it's bullish. I mean, there's this gigantic spike down right here from 379 to 377. I mean, it looks big the way I have the chart, set up, but it's just noise. It looks like a buy to me. I don't have any skin in the game on this one. right now. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to call it a day and go grab some lunch. Just remember to come and hang out tomorrow. Click subscribe, click like. Thank you.